Welcome in, everybody. My name is Letiredd, content creator over on Twitch, and I typically do stuff around Star Citizen. And today we are reacting to another Inside Star Citizen, A Line in Mine, which is supposed to be the new event we're going to get right now, following the event we just had, which was Supply or Die, which was interesting. It was a good concept. Its execution was rocky at times, and game being game and having all its known features. So yeah, but other than that, it's not bad. So today we're going to talk about A Line in Mine and see what this is all about. See, Stavo saying this is a permanent event. Enjoy that. Okay, let's talk about A Line and Mine. Wait, let me just double check the sounds all good. Okay, all right, let's do this.
The last 4 months have been unlike any in Star Citizen's history, with each one bringing a new patch full of dynamic content, needed bug fixes, and long-awaited quality of life improvements. From December's 4.0, which
I can't hold back anymore. I keep hearing this. What quality of life improvements are you talking about? No, we're not. I'm gonna cut that out because I'm just being a dick.
Finally brought our second star system to life, to picking a side in the ongoing fight for Pyro in January's 401, then building up the war chest for the continuing battle against the Frontier Fighters in February's 402 Supply or Die event. It's been one non-stop adventure in Pyro. But all of that changes when the story shifts back to the Stanton system in Alpha 4.1, with the introduction of new threats, new friends, and new opportunities for action, adventure, and acquisition.
At 4.1, we're actually going to be introducing what we've been calling internally as sort of our B story. In a nutshell, the regen technology, which to this point has basically been allowing people to die and get regen back, the technology begins to fail.
And that's being referred to as the regen crisis.
So, all right, we're just going to start by acknowledging the Battlestar Galactica t-shirt, which is super badass. Okay. New favorite person at CIG. And then now I have so many more questions about what they're planning on doing. It's kind of cool to bring it back to Stanton. I don't know what that's going to mean for how things are going to be going in Pyro. Is it going to be quieter? Is there going to be a rush of people to Pyro because there's so much stuff going on in Stanton? Who knows? Will you be able to get back and forth from Stanton to Pyro? Well, it's always a question mark. But anyways, jokes aside, I'm curious now as to what this truly means. So let's keep going.
It's throwing the Empire into a bit of chaos and confusion because this technology that everybody thought was basically going to conquer death is not as effective as promised.
Now for the player, nothing changes. You can just go about your business and it's business as usual. But for the populace, it's an issue.
So at this point, the Imperator is basically going to start lobbying the Senate to start loosening scientific restrictions on research. One company, Rayari, has put the call out to the population to try to find these sort of very rare minerals to basically bring to their outpost to help fuel their research to help resolve the crisis.
Okay, cool, good. A+, 2 thumbs up. But why the hell do I have to watch an INC to get this lore? I hope it's in game. I hope that's going to all be explained. There's going to be some kind of lore. But this is this kind of stuff that gets me excited and interested in Star Citizen more. There's a story. There's something for me to care about potentially, maybe if it's done well or it's interesting. So I'm all for that kind of stuff. Yes, please give me more.
And the way you get those brand new materials is the Align and Mine sandbox activity. So Align and Mine starts with these new facilities that are placed across 2 planets, Daymar and Aberdeen. These are Hathor-owned locations.
Hathor is sort of an older company. Basically, they were kind of a mining consortium. But as the years were going on, they were doing worse and worse and worse. And so the idea was that Stanton was relatively recently discovered, and the facilities that Hathor built here were basically their last gasp.
The purpose of these facilities was so Hathor could communicate and align with the orbital platform above them.
They went all in on building these facilities in the hopes that it would yield enough minables and minerals that it would keep the company alive. Sadly, they were sort of mistaken and the company folded.
And now that there's a renewed interest in the minerals that they used to mine there, people are going there and trying to get the facilities up and running again.
At each of these Hathor locations, there's an alignment dish. And the players have to go around and try to find out how to align the dish towards the satellite.
So while these mining facilities have been abandoned, they are by no means vacant.
While you're at the PAFs, you will be contending with Ninetails. Ninetails are just kind of the scavengers, the bad guys. They go everywhere, they just want loot, they want to get rich.
They're just here to basically strip and clean what's left of these defunct stations.
Maybe set up a camp or two and hold it as a sort of strategical point.
It's essential that
That was some cool animation for the Vault. That's the coolest stuff I've seen so far. Okay, nobody tries over. This is Fashion Citizen. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I'm kind of curious to experience Tier 0 in game since it just dropped like an hour and a half ago, 2 hours ago. But I can definitely understand a lot of people's frustration. I think we'll just, as usual, and I freaking hate saying this, wait and see what happens in Star Citizen, except that just takes forever. All right, moving on, because we got one more video after this one to get through.
the players search the area as much as I can. I can't stress that enough.
Once you've managed to find all 3 facilities and align them with the orbital platform, you need to collect the power banks that they've left behind on the surface.
Now with the PAFs all activated, it's time to get in your ship and head up to the orbital laser platform. Be careful.
So I've seen a lot of streamers. So I've seen a lot of streamers and content creators on YouTube posting about this, talking about this. This as the permanent event makes sense. For some reason, I thought this was different than what we were seeing from them, as this being the new, sandbox raid in Star Citizen. I was expecting this to be different. I guess this is, just what they're going to call it. Isn't another one-time thing? No, this is a permanent, which it was explained to me is something that's consistent, that's always there and always available. Thank you, Stavo. I really appreciate that. And I don't know what the special rewards are going to be. There's a mining component to this, right? So I'm sure there's going to be probably some precious metals or gems that you're going to get from this. And if you don't know what happens, so I'm sure they'll show it in the video, but it's kind of cool. You have to go to 3 places and get everything ready.
Because there might be some certain Ninetail lieutenants kind of roaming around.
It'll be pretty tough to get in there and to get it going.
The power banks that you would have obtained at the platform alignment facilities need to be inserted into their slots at the orbital laser platform. Players can head inside, fighting through, again, more Ninetails while they try to get to this terminal in the middle. That will charge the laser, and players should see a really cool effect in their environment to signify that this laser is ready to be fired.
So once you've armed the laser and it begins its sort of initiation sequence, you then have to go back down to the surface. Near where the impact is going to be, you'll be able to see this because it will be a crater. There will be a bunker nearby. This bunker is where you will do the final stage, which is firing the laser.
Why are you making people go back down to the surface?
Well, down on the surface is where the loot is. That's where the treasure is. That's where you're...
Okay, so there is going to be loot. There's going to be treasure. A lot of steps to this. So far you have to go to 3 mining lasers, align them, then grab their batteries, fly up to an orbital station, put in the batteries, arm the laser. Then now you have to fly back down to the planet to a bunker from which you will fire said laser.
You're going to actually...
All in a 600 player sandbox. Just Let that sink in.
Get the resources that you came to mine.
Keycard accepted.
It's so much better when you're down on the ground, you hit the button, you see this laser just pull, and there's all this shit going everywhere, and you're like, oh my God. It's an impactful moment. And there's that emotion of awe we want to inspire, and when we was testing it, the emotion is better captured when you're boots on the ground.
This sounds really chaotic.
Yeah, we haven't even...
You know, they seem so proud of themselves for creating this chaos, but it could always backfire. Low fly through the laser. You know, was it Ollie? Who was it? Somebody flew through the laser. I don't think it ended up for them very well, but we can low fly around it. Is this hole close again? You mean the hole that they fire the laser at? I'm assuming it's somewhere directly underneath the mining laser. Low fly along the laser, exactly. Fly all the way down from the station along the laser. I mean, so it's just gonna suck since I'm pretty sure it's only... So it's 2 locations. So it's Aberdeen and Daymar. And there's the 3 mining platforms, or the mining satellites, lasers, whatever you want to call them. The 3 mining satellites that for some reason have to point up to this laser for it to point down a spot that's completely away from them. Anyways, so here's my problem with this event, and it's kind of what we saw with contested zones, and it's what we saw with Ghost Hollow, and it's typical in most games whenever something new comes out. Everybody rushes to do that. They're going to do that for a month straight, and then once people are done doing it for a month straight, then others will be able to enjoy it. Yeah, you need 3 batteries, so you have to hit 3 satellite stations, and then once they're all aligned to the orbital base, you fly up to the orbital station and then insert the batteries, fire up, get the laser ready to fire up, and then you fly back down to a bunker where you then fire said laser. All right, let's keep going. We're almost done.
Touched on the worms yet.
There's a reason why Hathor abandoned these facilities. There's some local fauna that's not too happy when the ground gets disturbed.
So make sure you're prepared.
So we've been working on the Valakar for a while now, and we're really excited to finish off that boss fight and bring it to everybody as soon as possible. But in the process of developing it, we've also got some smaller Valakar.
Valakar are a tremendously invasive species. Basically, once they kind of get into an area, they propagate rather quickly and can become a very dangerous presence.
Fighting a juvenile is fairly similar to the adults on a much smaller scale.
Because they come up from the ground submerged, they can surprise the player in the way that they come up behind them or can attack them from areas where they don't expect.
Jump scare citizen. Here we come. They're gonna get me. I mean, let's be honest. Most things in this game get me. And yeah, I mean, but I'm sure they'll only be triggered once boots are on the ground. So I don't know if dropping a friendly A2, bomb will really help so much. I don't know. I hope it does, but we'll see.
The Valakar will also fight the other Ninetales at the location if you've managed to find a way to let them be in each other's presence.
So it's going to be you against other players, against other Ninetales, against other worms?
Yeah, real Mexican standoff. So when the lasers finish firing, it will have mined into the surface of this planet, which will reveal a cave network.
Inside this cave are 3 new mineable types. It's a fight for whoever can get the goods out of that cave as fast as possible. And
I don't like this already. And I don't... Here's what I don't like about this part, right? Is you're going to have a bunch of people just sitting there. That is a nice helmet. Waiting for people to send the laser down to go grab the shit. And then they're just going to come in, kill them, take all their stuff, and go away. That is a legit game loop. Yes, absolutely. But I always feel like it creates a bit of frustration. So I don't think that's the greatest idea. Again, I'm always willing to be proven wrong with implementation and how it actually plays out. But this is looking more and more like something you will have to have a group of 10 to 20 people to go do. The helmet's dope. That's sick. It's like a mix of Morozov brush drift and something else. All right, let's keep going.
Safely as possible. We are in Stanton, so if you're going to fight some other players, beware of crime stats.
Then you get to choose, do you want some interesting random loot from the collector, or do you want to just get credits?
Let's help the human race. Let's help the human race.
Yeah. Help the human race and make some bank.
While this is happening, Stand System actually has an exciting new resident. We've introduced our first Banu. His name is Wicklow.
Hey, it's Waldo. I'm forever going to call him Waldo because I was incapable of remembering his name. And even though I know it's Wicklow, I'm still going to call him Waldo. So if anyone ever wonders what I'm referring to, it's this. But this is cool. This I'm actually really excited to learn more about.
Wicklow is also offering a counter mission to the minerals that Rayari is looking for. So if you don't want to sell them off to Rayari to help...
What, we're going to have some Wicklow Light and Wicklow Ultra?
With the regen crisis, Wicklow is offering some...
He keeps saying, oh, though. What many times with the players in game? What actually, that's a good point. I don't know what's up with buying the players.
Some sweet, tasty items in exchange for the same materials.
Here you go. Bring chip in.
Wicklow recently retired, Banu equivalent of retirement, from a fabrication Suli in the Banu Protectorate. He loves people, he loves humans, so he decided to move to human space and set up sort of a fabrication shop / trading site location for players to go visit, and basically he can kind of make you some cool stuff if you bring him what he needs. One of the things with the Banu was they always try to be the least threatening thing in the room. I always equate them to sort of the golden retriever.
Look, it's already impressive that they can form letters. Illiteracy is going up, so just I always just chalk it off to a win if they can write their own name.
Of our aliens. So they're everybody's friend until they're not.
Wicklow's Emporium.
I want my space whales. Give me space whales. And this looks super badass.
There are 3 of them in different areas of Stanton. You'll be able to find these on your star map. This is where Wicklow is set up shop. The unique thing about Wicklow is he'll never pay you any money because he's got a load of shit in his warehouse that he'd rather give you instead.
The collector offers everything from armor.
So Jared just has to put himself everywhere. Did you guys see that?
That he'd rather give you instead.
It's just gotta leave his mark on everything. Piccolo was cool.
The collector offers everything from armor pieces to skins to weapons.
Pretty, yes.
I want the swords. I very much want the swords.
Solid build, but also fun to make.
And other cool little surprises.
Even spaceships.
Even spaceships. Big ones. I'm incredibly excited. It is quite a defining moment for a space game to finally get an alien. And the best thing about Wicklow is, as we keep moving and building out this universe, his presence will stay. You will keep needing to interact with him. He'll keep needing random things from you. So you better make good friends with him.
4.1, we're finally able to deliver some content that we've been working on for a while.
I think that the experience of the whole thing is really cool, and I think that it's a really, really big step forward for us on the mission design team, making content for the future, that we are able to create events that use mission logic but don't require missions.
it's fun to be able to kind of like explore a little bit and not just have everything kind of spoon-fed to you. And it also mixes a little bit of everything, right? We have the FPS and we have a little bit of ship combat up by the orbital platform, and of course even creature fighting. So it's got a nice spectrum of things that you can do.
I like the fact that we're building more of the story out of what this world is, how the universe is created, how these companies have operated in it, and giving you more fun sandbox things to do that require you to be the explorer that you want to be in a space game.
And with 4 patches in as many months, the introduction of a new ongoing persistent sandbox with Align in mind, the arrival of our persistent universe's first non-human character, a new system for acquiring rewards, brand new mining vehicles, and the beginning of a second ongoing narrative that's threatening the lives of NPCs everywhere. And no, I've seen the post, it's not Death of a Spaceman, not yet, or not soon. We're playing a really long game here. It's an exciting time for Star Citizen, and one that we're all...
Wait, hold up. Did he just say we're playing a really long game here? There's so many things to say around that. Well, I mean, okay. How long are we talking? It's been 12 years. Yeah, long game. See, I'm not the only one that reacts to that. I'm like, wait, hold up. Did you just say the long game? What are we talking about here? All right, let's finish this off, and then there's one last quick video we got to watch.
Super excited to share with you. So for Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. As always, thanks for letting us share the people and process of game development with you, and we'll be right back here in just a few weeks with even more looks at the future of our persistent universe.
Wait, so... Oh, wait, there's more. Okay. Well, it's nice to see something like that, which for me, I'm going to call that the first sandbox dungeon, sandbox raid that we're getting in game. Contested zones is different. That's an extraction based gameplay, and which also is kind of like an in-game raid or dungeon. This is super interesting. I think it's very elaborate, and I know, because we've all had to interact with human beings at some point in our life. Now, what's most likely going to happen is people are going to sit there, wait for a group to have done all the work, and then they're going to try and take it from them. That's a legit form of gameplay, because that's open. It's totally not... Nothing about this mission is curated for that not to happen, right? So it's completely open, and we already know that this is a massive open world universe with 600 people. I think it's going to be spicy. The first 2 weeks are going to be dominated by larger orgs at those locations, so I'm not expecting to be able to get there right away. Hopefully, though, once that kind of calms down, or people are just tired of dealing with the bugs, others will be able to kind of go in with smaller groups and check it out. I'm really looking forward to fighting the Valakar. That looks awesome. They look very cool. I'm a very big fan of that kind of stuff coming into game. And I'm a little disappointed, though, with I'm just most disappointed with how the rewards are going to work for that. We know that we also now get 4.1 live, and we're going to be able to enjoy keeping our armor and no longer being able to loot people, which I don't enjoy that second part. But again, I think a lot of people, for them, it doesn't matter so much, because if you're a PvE-oriented player, you rarely come across other players' bodies. And yeah, it's kind of like Christmas when you do, and it's unfortunate that it's gone, but yeah, it's just it's going to be our reality for now in the verse. I'm looking forward to being able to hopefully do this this in-game raid, this in-game dungeon sooner than later. Maybe I'll spend the next few days trying to get a big group together. But overall, it's a good thing that this is in the game. I think it's a good thing that Wicala, Waldo is in the game. I'm very excited to be able to go there, see that stuff, interact. I'm more worried, though, about how you're going to obtain all that stuff. So, we'll see. You know what? No, we got this one last video to check out. Hold up. Alright, and then this is the other one called Orbital Assault. I'm not going to go watch the 1.5 one for the golem. I feel like we're good. We covered that. Alright, let's watch this one. It's a quickie. Looks kind of cool.
Welcome.
You know, if you really hate somebody, just show them that and be like, dude, you could totally be playing this game with me right now. They'll be like, what? That thing looks insane. No way. Let me buy it. And then they're going to hate you. Look, that's an objectively very cool video. Unfortunately, it doesn't really show the reality of playing the game. But is it a cool video? Yes. Is it an accurate marketing tool? Absolutely not. So, oh well. At least it's nice to have some cool things to watch. I don't know if that's really going to sell anybody on the game. If it does, then, you know, good luck to you. But, all right, that kind of concludes all our reacts for today. We had a few to get through. Apologies for all that. There was some interesting stuff. There was definitely some interesting stuff. It's good to see new content come in, but, you know, again, we were told we're getting stability and playability. It's not necessarily been the case. And already from what I'm hearing in chat and seeing other places, the rollout of 4.1 is less than stable. To be expected, they didn't get the player count they need, player count they needed in PTU, but that's on them. They have to stop splitting it up into waves. I think the PTU should just be a thing of the past. I'm becoming more and more convinced that you cannot portray this as having a live build and a PTU test build, because it's misleading. And if we truly are all building towards making an alpha better, do it the Tarkov way. Everybody plays the same thing, so you get a massive amount of players coming in every time there's a wipe. And you can actually get some great data, because this is a massive multiplayer online game, not a let's get a couple hundred people here trying it, a couple hundred people here trying it. So I hope that things stabilize and we can actually play and enjoy the game. That's all I want. And that's why I tell people don't spend your money on the game anymore. It's purely that, because priorities are driven by finances in business. That's mainly the case, unless you're, you know, no, it's a terrible example. I'm not going to use that anymore. But the reality is they will only push and understand certain things if they see a lack of funding. And it's not that I want this game to fail. That's absolutely not the point I'm trying to make. I think the point I'm trying to make is that I think in order for it to be the success we all want it to be, they need to understand that, you know, it's been nice to hear them say they're trying to kick it up a couple gears to be better and faster. But I think now that actually has to follow. And, you know, actions speak louder than words and all that good stuff. So again, I love you guys at CIG. I love the devs. I love this project. I love the ambition. Nothing makes me feel like this, but it's not in a good state right now. It's not everything it could be, right? But anyways, thanks again for joining, everybody. More reacts to come next week or not, depending on when they get us the next one. We'll see.